My man. So today I'm going to show you guys how you guys gonna make this thing called the Shirataki noodles, which is this noodles. And I have a specific recipe for this, you know. The Shirataki noodles are 0-calorie noodles, so you're not gonna expect it to taste like real noodles, but you get pretty close to it. And if you are dieting and you guys need a substitute for a carbohydrate source, this is perfect because it did help me through some of my dark times in prep itself, you know, where I miss noodles a lot. And I really wanted to eat something, but I really did not have the carbohydrate expenses to spend on it. So this is gonna be a good substitute for you guys, and I'm gonna show you how to prepare it. So let me just chop out all the ingredients and then show you all in total how it looks like, you know, and how you cook it. The water boiling first, because you want the water to be boiling before you pour the noodles in. So one of the most important tips that I learned through mistake is that I forget to salt the water every time. So if I forget to salt the water, the noodles won't be able to salt the sodium up, and then the noodles will just taste very bland. So be heavy on the seasoning itself. So I got a bunch of salt here. So what I'm gonna do is 1 and 2 big tablespoons of salt will do the job, and then I'm gonna start stirring it. Don't use a fork to stir, I'm sorry. Use something like a spatula, that would be great. Because you then, after which when you cook the noodles, you can then use the spatula again to cook. And it's important that you guys don't pour the water away once you are done with the noodles itself, because then we can pour the water, which is the pasta water, back into the noodles when I cook the noodles. You guys will see later on, you know, I won't throw the water away. So just keep stirring it like that. Then make the water even in a way for the noodles, so it's gonna get nice and salty when it gets in here. Boom. So I'm gonna just briefly describe what we got here. So we got the Shirataki noodles, the 0-calorie noodles, all washed up in here. Remember to wash it very evenly, because if you don't wash it evenly, you have a very fishy smell. So make sure that you wash it very thoroughly. Make sure you do this, you know, kind of caress it like your woman's hair, or you girls, you know, you like to twirl the hair, you know, just like kind of like caress it. So after that, we got some chopped up cilantro. This is to give it the flavor. Garlic, very important, another important flavor as well. Mushrooms to add more volume to the noodles itself. And then I have 180 grams of prawns weighed out here, so that it goes in like a spaghetti aglio olio. You guys can put chicken, beef and things like that inside. Just make sure that you guys cook it thoroughly before, you know, consuming it. Anyway, for some of my herbs, I use this pasta herb spice blend. So this is to give it a nice what's that, oregano? You know, the flavor of the vegetable, for the noodles to be tossed evenly and it tastes amazing. So some salt to salt back the prawns and the mushroom when I cook all of the ingredients together. So it gives it a very nice aglio olio profile that I'm trying to go here for my Shirataki noodles. When the water is boiling, and then I'll pour the noodles in, and then I'll show you guys how the whole process is being done. You guys can see the water is boiling already. Maybe give it a while more, you know, but as long as the bubbles start to come out, you guys can roughly gauge that the water is kind of boiling already. So we want it to be boiling because we want it to be piping hot, so that when the noodles go in, it's like it's cooked, it's gonna get cooked. Rather than, you know, you just throw it in and just like waiting for the water to boil. It doesn't work like that, you know. So make sure that the water is cooked before you guys pour it in. The noodles in the water, just to give it a little twirl so that it doesn't mix, it doesn't like clog up in a way, so that it's thoroughly cooked evenly throughout the noodles itself. If you're an expert like me already, you guys can micromanage two places at once. You guys really can start cooking all this stuff. But it's alright if you don't want to do both at once. You guys want to wait for the noodles to get done and strain it out, then after that just rest a bit. It's totally fine too. But we gotta be experts, man. So right now I got this pan fired up. And then I'm gonna cook the mushrooms, the cilantros, the garlic, and then the prawns together first in this bowl. And then the noodle will be the last one that comes here and bams on top of the whole thing itself. So okay, I'm just gonna get this pan going first. Now it's very important that you guys have some sort of like butter spray or what, because this is a 0-calorie noodle, so we try to minimize the calories as little as possible itself. So this, give it like a really good like. I'm running low on this, so give it a good twirl of the butter itself. Then we add the mushrooms first, because the mushrooms are harder to cook compared to the prawns. The prawns actually cooked quite easily, so we want to cook the mushrooms first, you know, give it a light toast flavor, and it will taste very nice. The noodles are already boiling, so they are about ready to be taken out. One thing I always do beforehand is I always check whether the noodles are quote-unquote al dente, because I say quote-unquote because these are not real pasta. So I think al dente is typically used to describe real pasta itself, so I'm just going to give it a try first. So the noodles are supposed to taste kind of like chewy, which they are. So I'm going to remove them out of the water right now. Use a strainer. Get it off the fire first. Wait for the water to seep out, guys. I always burn myself with this step, so just wait for the water. So just wait for the water to come out first, then after that take it out. Bam, put it on the strainer. Easy peasy, 1, 2. Now remember I said that you guys shouldn't throw the pasta water away, and this is why. Hear the sizzle manizzle? Gives the mushroom a nice salty flavor, which you would like to see. And then I'm gonna add the prawns. And evenly cook them up again. Once again, trying to soak up the flavor of the mushrooms with the prawns itself. Prawns, roughly about 15 to 30 seconds. You get a nice sizzle on the coloring itself already. You can add your cilantro and your garlic. Butter here. Kind of give it some adherence to the pan itself, or else it's gonna stick very easily for. Maybe it's just because it's my pan, but yeah, you guys can add the butter in. You'll add in some extra flavor itself. So after a little light toast already, we're gonna add the seasoning on top. Boom. Just a little. About 1 teaspoon to 2. You can see that it's starting to get a little bit dry, so I'm gonna add a little more pasta water on top. Just a little more, you know, nothing crazy. Give it a nice little whirl. Look at all that flavor. And then a pinch of salt. To add in the noodles. Quick stir, quick stir. Give the noodles a little more like flavor, and the butter that goes on top when you mix on top of the noodles is amazing. The noodles are getting a little bit dry. Don't be afraid to add some more pasta water inside. These noodles are highly absorbent in terms of like of water content. So adding more water is not necessarily a bad thing. It actually makes it more chewy itself. Yeah, finished. Looks pretty glorious, huh? Can then add some Tabasco sauce inside, you know, just give it a little flavor. Voila! Really recommend you guys to cut the noodles out with scissors, because the noodles get actually very long, so it's very irritating to eat it, you know. And we're done. There you have it, man. Low calorie, good ass noodles that will fill you up and not take up any caloric expenditure that you guys have. So it will be a very good strategy to use, you know, when you guys are very hungry and really want something to eat, you know. So this is a good way to reduce the amount of calories that you have to have, and then have a little more carbohydrate later on in the day if you really need to. So I'm done, guys. So check this noodle out, and we'll see you in the next video.